Hi students, welcome to our YouTube channel again. Today we are going to discuss the third part of the carbohydrates topic. In this part, our topic of discussion is the main important topic is structure of glucose, and in the structure of glucose topic we will discuss hemiacetal and hemiketal formation. The next one, Haworth projections formulas, and then chairs and board conformations, and the fifth one, that is enolization and its properties. Okay, so now we are going to start. For better understanding of glucose structure, let us consider the formation of hemiacetal and hemiketal. So it means we are going to start from hemiacetal formation, and the next one, that is hemiketal formation. Okay, because respectively produced when the aldehyde or a ketone react with alcohol. Remember that in hemiacetal and hemiketal you have to remember that for the hemiacetal there will be aldehyde react with alcohol to form product, while in the hemiketal you have to remember like the ketal, it means ketone react with alcohol. Okay, that will form product. So remember, like alcohol readily react with aldehyde to form hemiacetal. Okay, so first of all you have to remember that the British carbohydrate chemist, the name was, here I am going to write, that is Sir Norman Haworth, showed that the linear form of glucose could undergo similar, like here, like linear form of glucose, as we already discussed in the previous videos, that could undergo form a similar intramolecular reactions to form a cyclic hemiacetal. Okay, so first of all you have to remember and you have to know what is meant by hemiacetal. So as I already discussed, in which aldehyde react with alcohol to form hemiacetal formation. So like here I am going to make the alcohol structure first, that is ROH react with aldehyde. I am going to propose a general formula, that is R, like R prime C double bond O H. Okay, so first of all here the oxygen that will attack here on the carbon, and it will form like a reversible, that hemiacetal is like a reversible product. Okay, so that will make like C bonded with OH and along with R prime, and here is the group of alcohol, that is RO. Okay, so that product is known as hemiacetal product. Okay, and remember, like the result 6-membered oxygen containing ring is similar to pyran or is designated as pyranose. Like in case of pyranose structure, So what happened, the same thing occur. First of all, I am going to make a linear structure of glucose, as you already know, that is 6 membered. Like that contains 6 carbons. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 carbon, and here that is aldehydic. So here I am going to make it. Okay, and the sixth one contain CH2OH. Okay, so as you know, we already discussed this, that structure is known as D-glucose. Okay, now from here, according to normal Haworth, so that can be undergo the cyclization. So in the cyclization, how it will be, like I am going to make okay. So 1 2 3 4 5, and here is the sixth one. Okay, and now what will happen, the lone pair of oxygen that will attack on carbon. Okay, along with, like, there are some other like hydrogen and OH. So I am going to make it. Okay, so now you can see that the lone pair of, like, the oxygen that will attack on the carbon, and here it will form the two different types of structure, and those structures are known as like alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. Okay, so now I am going to make okay. So that is the first structure, and that is known as alpha D like glucopyranose. Okay, so I am going to write GP. Okay, now the next one, in case of the next one structure, the another one that is going to be let me copy it. Okay, and I am going to change the color. Okay, now you can see in this structure there is only the shifting of hydroxyl group and hydrogen. Like now in this case, the hydroxyl group is present on the above side and hydrogen is present on the below side. Okay, so that will be beta D glucopyranose. Okay, so you can see here the hydroxyl group, the OH group is present on the like downside, and here is on the upside. Okay, so that is actually also known as Haworth projection formulas. Okay, so that is in the case of aldehyde cyclization. So here what happen, the hydroxyl group of monosaccharides can react with the aldehyde or keto functional group as like in the hemiketal formation. So thus the aldehyde group of the glucose C1 react with the alcohol group at C5 to form two types of hemiacetals, namely as alpha and beta. So you can see here alpha and beta. Okay, so the configuration of glucose is conventionally represented either by Fischer formulas or by Haworth projection formula. Okay, so that is for the aldehyde case. Now in case of ketone or hemiketal formation, so same here, that the ketones can react with the alcohols to form hemiketals. So it means here ketone react with alcohol to form like the product, that is hemiketal. Okay, so the here is again the analogous intramolecular reactions of the ketose sugar such as fructose, because you know that like the aldose sugar is glucose and the ketose sugar is fructose. Okay, that will form a cyclic hemiketal. Okay, so here instead of pyranose, here it will like referred to as furanose structure. Okay, so same happening here like we already did. I am going to make the alcohol structure or OH react with the ketone, that is R like 1, or here I am going to represent with R prime carbon, and here is R double prime, and again the lone pair of oxygen that will attack on the carbonyl carbon, and it will form a hemiketal formation, and that is again a reversible product. So that will be okay, so that is known as hemiketal formation. Like for example, as I already told you that the ketose sugar, that is fructose, so we are going to take fructose here, and again as you know that in the fructose that is again 6 carbon, so 1 2 3 4 5 and now 6 carbons, so that contain ketone group here. And the last one contains CH2OH. Okay, so that is known as D-fructose. So that is undergoing the cyclization. So as you know, the furan structure is like that. Okay, so same type structure is here in the cyclization of the fructose, that will make like alpha D fructofuranose and beta D fructofuranose. So same thing happening here. So these are Remember, that is the difference in between furanose and pyranose structure. Furanose is 6-member ring. Sorry, pyranose is 6-member ring, while the furanose is 5-member ring. So here again, let me show you. Again, the lone pair of oxygen that will attack on the carbonyl group, and here you can represent the other OH, hydrogen, and same here the hydrogen OH, and here is the hydrogen, okay, and here is also like hydrogen. So now that will make again the two different types of products or two different types of structures. So the first one I am going to show you. And in this case, okay, you have to just remember that difference. So the first one is alpha, okay, alpha D fructofuranose, okay, while in case of beta, so you have to remember that the next one is same structure, but there is the difference now. Here the CH2OH is present on the downside as compared to the above one. Okay, so that is beta D fructofuranose. Okay, so how is it possible? And I am going to show you like one structure. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here is 6. Okay, so you have to remember like that is carbon 1, carbon 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So carbon 2 hydroxyl group, here is OH, and here is hydrogen OH, OH, okay. So now what happened? From carbon 2, that is the carbon 2 position, and the carbon 5, okay, so these are bonded with the oxygen. Okay, so that will make alpha D fructofuranose. And same happening here in the hemiacetal formation. So there will be the same thing, and in this case carbon 1, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and there is carbon 1, and here is carbon 5. So carbon 1 and carbon 5 is bonded with the oxygen. Okay, so that will make a 6-member ring, while the other groups are like that. Okay, so that will make alpha D glucopyranose. Okay students, so now like in most monosaccharides there are the two or more hydroxyl group that can react with aldehyde or ketone. I am going to show you. For example, so 1, 2, 3, 4 that contain OH group, that is the carbon 4th, and here is the carbon 5th, and here is carbon 6th. Okay, so now you have to see in this structure, like you have the two position, the carbon 4th position and carbon 5th position. Let me change the color of that hydroxyl group. Okay, so now two or more hydroxyl group can react with aldehyde or ketone at the other end of the molecule to form hemiacetal or hemiketal. Like consider if C4 here, if C4 hydroxyl group react with aldehyde of the glucose like that, so it will make 5-membered ring. So that will make 5-membered ring. Okay, and if the carbon 5 or C5 hydroxyl react with the carbonyl or aldehyde group, so that will make 6-membered ring. So here it will make 6-membered ring. Okay, how I am going to show you. So let me make it again. So that is the OH group. Here is carbon 4th, so let me make it okay. Now if the hydroxyl group of C4 that will react with the aldehyde, so it will make a pyranose, like a 5-membered ring, that is known as furanose form. So here that is the structure. Okay, and if that is known as like furanose form. Okay, and if the C5 hydroxyl group react with the aldehyde group, so it will make 6-membered ring like pyranose form. Alright, so here you can add OH group in Okay, so that name is pyranose form. Okay, so that is what about the Haworth's projections and hemiacetal formation and hemiketal formation. So now we are going to discuss the next one, that is chair conformation and board conformations, like chair and board conformations. Okay, remember, although Haworth's projections are convenient for displaying monosaccharides structure, okay, but they do not accurately portray on the conformations of pyranose and furanose ring. Okay, so instead they take on pocket conformations, and in the case of pyranose ring, the two favored structures are chair and the next one, that is board conformations. Okay, so note that the substituent in these structures can be equatorial or axial. Okay, I will show you. So that is parallel to an axis drawn on the ring. Okay, so I am going to show you here, like as you know, chair and board conformation. So as like that is chair conformation. Here you can see the 6 carbons, like 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, while the board conformation, let me draw it again. Okay, so here you can see the board conformation, that again contain like the 6 carbon, like 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, so that is the axis. Okay, now so you have to check here, like that contain some axial bond and some equatorial bond. So I am going to show you here the axial, here the equatorial. Okay, let me change the color of the equatorial. Okay, and same happening here for the equatorial, that is axial, and like in this case there is oxygen is present. Okay, and you can say the other, like carbon that is present on these axes. Okay, maybe at carbon 1. So now here is again the oxygen. So let's make the structure, exact structure of the chair conformation. Okay, now you can see here there is CH2OH group, and here is OH group, here is hydrogen, and along here is OH, hydrogen, OH, hydrogen, and here is OH group and hydrogen group. Okay, and here is also like hydrogen. So that is the chair conformation, and in which like some bonds are like known as axial bond, like here the hydrogen, so that is axial. Okay, so that is axial bond, while the some are equatorial, like OH group here, that is equatorial bond. Okay, so that will make the two types, like the two possible chair conformations. One is known as alpha D glucose and the other one is known as beta D glucose. Okay, like you have to just like that. Now here is CH2OH group, here is OH hydroxyl group, hydrogen, hydroxyl group, hydrogen, and here is also contained hydroxyl group and hydrogen. Okay, so these two possible chair conformations. So now here you can see group on such rings are more stable. Okay, so on the chair in case of chair conformations and board configurations, the groups are more stable when they occupy equatorial positions rather than axial position. Remember that. Okay, so that is the important like point. The groups are more stable when they occupied like equatorial position. Okay, rather than axial position. And remember, chair conformation is more stable than board conformation. Stable than board conformation. Okay, so like for a typical pyranose, here we already did, like such as beta D glucose, there are the two possible chair conformations here we made, like here you can see the two possible chair conformations. So of all the D aldohexose and beta D glucose is only the one that can adopt the conformations with a bulky group. Okay, so with this advantage of the stability, it may come as no surprise that the beta D glucose is the most widely occurring organic group in the nature, and that can be central hexose in the carbohydrate metabolism. So that is for the chair conformation and the board conformation. Okay students, so that is our last topic of today's video. In the next video we will discuss the reactions of monosaccharides. Okay, so if you like our video, then kindly subscribe us and share our channel. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.